What's up, guys? Welcome back to the LOM podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my main channel, Jay Lyons. It will be linked in the description. So thank you if you do that. And if not, enjoy this episode. Peace. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a minute. It's been a fat minute. It's actually been several minutes, but you know what I mean. I'm here now. We're back. Back with a little bit of one-on-one time. I know you guys love this, right? Welcome back to the Lion on Main show. So, I don't know. A lot hasn't really happened since my last episode with Tasty Beats. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Because I've just been doing like a lot of work recently, just like YouTube stuff, schoolwork, and then just work in general, which I know I basically say that like every episode I got like a lot of work doing, but I do, okay? I got like a lot of shit to do. Like I'm actually supposed to be in the lab right now working on my short film because I have to do the sound design, but I also have to do the sound design for this podcast, you know? Got to record my sensual voice for all you listeners out there. But yeah, I should be doing that, but I'm not. I'm here. I started doing this late because I wanted to do this like earlier so I could finish earlier, so I can get into the lab earlier, so I can do my work earlier. But I was actually binging Stranger Things, which I have not seen season 4 yet. Okay. I know it's been a long time. Considering it's my favorite show, I should have been watching it the night it came out, but I didn't. Basically, my Netflix had run out, my membership. I kind of just like let it expire because I wasn't really using it. There wasn't a whole lot on there for me to watch. I was mainly just watching YouTube and like Disney Plus, and so I was like, yeah, I could just let it expire. It's no big deal. Plus, it's way too expensive to keep up anyways when I'm not using it. Like if it was like $5 or $6 or like even $7 like Disney Plus is, I would be okay with that. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. You know, I'll keep it on because what if I don't find something I like? I could just hop onto Netflix and boom, there it is. But considering like not even like the best membership, like just the medium one, like the just good, okay? It's just good. It's like $15 a month. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is Netflix so much? You know, I don't get it. And they don't even have like a student discount. And if there is, please tell me. I have not found it. Like I looked up like what the student discount is and they're like, yeah, Netflix doesn't have that. It's like, what the hell? You know, I get that Netflix is like losing subscribers. And so like they probably jack up the price to make up for that. But it's also like, that's just going to turn more people off because instead of making better content, you know what I mean? Instead of giving us a reason to stay, you're going to turn people away because now it's like you just have mediocre content that I'm paying $15 for when I could just pay $7 for really good content on Disney Plus, right? And so it's like I might as well just let it expire, like me. Like just I wasn't really using it that much. There's not a whole lot on there that I'm really interested in, and so it's just like I'll just let it expire. You know, except for Stranger Things, there's nothing really on there that I'm really interested in. You know what I mean? But yeah, so anyways, so I just let it expire because it's just way too expensive. And I wasn't really using it, but Stranger Things came out. And so I was like, oh, sweet. Let's just start the membership up again. Watch the volume 1. And then when volume 2 comes out, watch that. And then I'll just probably just let it expire again because Stranger Things is done, at least for this season, right? And so I restarted it. I restarted it pretty late because I was having issues with my bank and all that shit. I'm not going to get into that, but I got the shit with my bank situated, and so I was able to restart my membership with Netflix, and so I started watching Stranger Things. And since I haven't seen any of the other seasons in like 2 or 3 years now or something like that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to binge all of it. Like I want to watch the first 3 seasons before I hop into season 4. You know what I mean? And so I started up just a couple days ago. Like when was it? Like I don't even know. Like Wednesday or something last week. It's been like a week now. And so I'm almost done with season 2. I'm on like episode 6. And so I was binging it this morning. I watched like 2 episodes this morning because I really like the show and I just really wanted to watch it. And I just really want to get to season 4. And so because of that, I started late with this podcast. And so now we're behind. Like it's 11. I actually need to leave at 11:30 if I'm being honest, to make it to class. But I guess I can come in late because it's not like we're doing like it's just like class work, you know, it's just like personal individual work per se. I mean, movie individual work like with my group. And since the sound design is the last thing to do, it's just me coming in. So I don't know, I guess it could be late, you know. I mean, the sound design is almost done. Like I'm sure I could get it done either today or tomorrow. So that's not that big of a deal. And plus, now I have Adobe Premiere on my laptop, which I haven't tried. So we'll see if it actually works on my laptop and it doesn't like crash and shit. So I can actually work on my stuff at home now. I don't have to go to the lab. So that's good. But yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about my short film. But yeah, so basically just doing that. Been doing a lot of work on that. And also I've been working on YouTube stuff, which I want to take a moment to anybody who's went over and watched a couple of my videos or subscribed or liked the videos on my main channel. I just want to say thank you. I got like 16 subscribers on the other channel, which I know compared to other people, that's not a lot, but hey, I'm happy that I got 16 because that's 16 new people. You know what I mean? Like, I started with 0, and I didn't really tell anybody about it. I didn't tell people to go subscribe. Like, I'm talking about like telling my friends. I didn't tell my friends, hey, subscribe to my channel and shit like that. I just posted some videos and I promoted it and I got subscribers. And so I'm just happy that there's 16 people out there who want to watch me do whatever it is I'm doing, like just commentary on random shit. And I also want to thank the 23 subscribers here on YouTube for my podcast and the 20 some odd other subscribers on the other platforms. I just want to say thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for liking and reviewing and sharing this podcast if you guys are actually doing that, which I'm assuming you are. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody because I really enjoy doing this. Like I really enjoy making videos. I got more video ideas coming up. So yeah, once again, just want to thank everybody for that. I'm really, really happy about all this. But I do gotta say though, when it comes to like the algorithm, like YouTube algorithm, I have no idea how to tap into that shit. You know what I mean? And I know I wasn't like, I'm not expecting a video to come out and get like 1 million views, obviously. But I don't know. I want to know like how to, because there's like, you know, there's like those some videos on YouTube where like they'll get recommended to you. They're like 3 seconds long and they've got like 20 million views, right? And it comes from this account that's got like 2 subscribers. And it's like, this is the only video that they have. And it's like, how did that even take off? Like I've even had videos get recommended to me that got millions of views that have no title, right? It's just like blank, which I don't know how you do that. You got to have some like invisible type or something like that because you have to have a title to post a video, right? Because that allows you to search for it. So I'm just wondering, how does this video get like millions of views with no title? You know what I mean? I haven't figured out the algorithm yet. And like I thought, I've heard that if you swear in a video, it doesn't do well in the algorithm, right? And so like, I think it was the Dudes Down Bad video that I did. I put bleeps over any cuss words, and I tried not to swear as much as possible. But where I did, I bleeped it, right? So I'm like, hey, I don't actually say the word, so maybe that'll do well in the algorithm, right? But I got decent views for a new channel, I guess. But the next one, I didn't really want to go through and bleep all that because it really is a pain in the ass to do all that shit. So I'm like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to let it be the way it is. Because also there's people that I subscribe to that don't bleep out their swear words and they got a lot of views, And so I was like, it may not really matter that much. And so I didn't bleep it. And then that video did way better than the Dudes Down Bad at the time. And now they're kind of like leveling out because the Dudes Down Bad took off in the algorithm somehow around the same time the other video did. And so I'm like, I don't know why that happened. Like, it's weird to see when you look at your analytics, right? And you see like the impressions and like the viewership and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just like weird when you see like the impressions kind of go like this and all of a sudden it just like shoots up and it's like, what the fuck happened? Why did that happen? And then there's some videos like my Etsy video where that the algorithm just hasn't taken it yet. And I don't know why. I have an idea, but also I'm kind of skeptical about that idea. So let me explain the idea to you so you understand, okay? So there's like this person that I watch on YouTube, and she came out with this video. This was like months ago. She came out with this video that where she was like buying decorations online for her house or apartment, wherever, right? And so she was looking at a bunch of these websites, buying decorations, obviously. And one of the places she went to was Etsy. And if you haven't seen my Etsy video, my video is about like weird shit on Etsy, like weird stuff that I found. And I was like talking about them in the video. And some of the products were like dildos, right? They were like dicks. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I just don't think I can show this on YouTube, period. But also, I think if I blur it out, it'll still do well in the algorithm, right? Because then it's technically not there. You know what I mean? And so I blurred it out because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can't show this on YouTube just in general and all that stuff. And so I blurred it out, right? And it kind of did like average. Well, kind of below average compared to my other videos. But this girl, her video, she was looking at candles, and one of the candles was a full-on dick candle. And she didn't blur it out at all. Like, it was just boom, there. And she was like, hey, check this out. This is fucking funny. Well, she didn't say the F word, but she said, this is funny, right? And her video was like, that one is like one of her more popular ones. And I'm like, and it's also still monetized, which that was another thing. Not that I'm monetized, but I was like, if I do, I'm pretty sure this would be something that I can't monetize if I show the dildo, right? That's also another reason why I blurred it out. But here she is, she's got advertisements. One of her more popular videos, full on dick in the video. And I'm like, okay, how does the algorithm work? You know? And like, yeah, I know that she's more popular than me, but I'm like comparing it compared to her other videos, right? It just did better than her other videos. And so it's like, why did the algorithm like that video of hers? You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I was just kind of confused. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I still don't understand because like still the Etsy video is just not that popular. I came up with another video after that, and that one kind of took off in the algorithm. Like it's doing pretty well. But still, my other one is just not that popular. You know, the Etsy video. Every other video is still like kind of going up nicely. You know, they're kind of leveling out. The new one is still kind of taking off in the algorithm, at least based off my analytics. But yeah, that Etsy video is just not really doing that well. And I'm just like, well, maybe people just don't care about Etsy. That's a real possibility. I don't know. But yeah, you know, there's just, if you want to know what You want to know what like the most demoralizing thing is? Make a YouTube channel, make a couple videos that you really put effort into, and then post it and see it do bad. That's demoralizing. Because it's like, why the hell did I take that time to do that? You know what I mean? But hey, it's still fun. I enjoy making the Etsy videos, but I want to know. Like I want to take a peek behind the curtain and see like the algorithm and be like, what exactly do I have to do to make shit take off in the algorithm? You know what I mean? Because also there's like some videos where there's like millions upon millions of views and it's just like the stupidest videos ever. You know, like those like this is gonna sound bad, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like those family channels. You know what I mean? Like Ace Family, like Royalty Family, all that stuff. Like the people who have YouTube channels about their family, where basically all they do is flaunt how like filthy rich they are. They're like, hey, look at this Gucci bag that I paid $5,000 for my son, who doesn't even know what Gucci is. But hey, now he's dripping. It's like, and then like videos like that get like 50 million views. It's like, who's watching this? Like, it's like really bad videos. I don't get it. And I got this video recommended to me where this guy was talking about basically like YouTubers whose careers died, kind of, or like YouTubers that left per se. And this video was about Rice Gum. And dude, I haven't heard that name in ages. I was like, oh yeah, dude, what the hell happened to that guy? And if I'm being real, I've never met anyone who has watched any of his videos. I've never watched any of his videos. Short of the clips that I've seen other people put in their videos where they talk about Rice Gum and like how shitty of a person he is, I've never seen a video of his. So I don't know. I don't know how he was popular, because the entire time he was on YouTube, because you would think that his audience was like kids, basically, right? But I was a kid when he was popular. I didn't meet anyone who was like, yo, did you see that new Rice Gum video? You know what people my age were watching when I was a kid? They're watching Markiplier. I was watching Markiplier. So it's like, who was watching Rice Gum videos? Like, I went to his channel because I was like, oh yeah, you know what? Like, did this guy dip? Like, I also kind of low key thought, since I never really heard about him in general, I just thought that he was still doing his thing, and I just don't really hear about him because I'm not friends with people who watch his videos. But no, he actually kind of dipped about like a year ago, actually. So it hasn't really been that long. But like the video that he has as like his preview video, his like trailer video for newcomers to his channel, that video has got almost 200 million views, and it's a diss track. It's a music video, and I'm like, I mean, I guess maybe music does a little bit better because people like to listen to it and they listen to it multiple times because it's music, but still, like, Rice Gum got 200 million views on a rap battle. Like, even his other videos, like, got, like, tens of millions of views, you know? And I'm like, how? Who's watching this? Who's going like, yeah, let's check out the new Rice Gum video where he promotes gambling? That's actually something that he did, I'm pretty sure. I remember watching a video where someone's like, this guy's actually promoting gambling to his audience of children. And once again, I was a kid when he was super popular, apparently. So it's like, why did I never hear about this dude? I only heard about this dude when I was watching people making fun of him. I don't know. But yeah, it's like, how does videos like his take off? You know, we're also talking about like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, you know? Why? What are they doing? You know? I don't know. It's just like I want to know what tickles the algorithm, you know? Like, what tickles their fancy? What makes the algorithm be like, we're going to promote this shit? Cuz also like what makes like what determines when the algorithm is going to take hold of your video? Because there's like some videos that people do where it takes off like immediately, like boom, it's just good. Then there's some videos where it takes a while before it takes off, like what I was talking about with my videos, right? Dudes Down Bad. When it first came out, I didn't really get that many views on it, but also I wasn't really expecting a lot. It was only like my second video at the time. But then I came out with a third video like a week later or 2 weeks later, whatever it was. And a few days after that one was posted, Dudes Down Bad just took off. And it's like, why did it take off now? I mean, maybe it was because I have more videos and so more people are coming to watch, which in that case, great. But I don't know. Because then also, the reviewing celebrity homes, right? That video was kind of average at the beginning, but then the algorithm took it a little bit higher. And it's like, why did it take so long for that to happen? You know, like what really, I want to know. I want to know what the algorithm is all about, you know? Because also, I've been trying to figure out the algorithm when it comes to this podcast for the longest time. And like, I still don't get it, you know? I mean, my only thought is that the best thing to do, at least when you're like a newer channel, is to tap into the search criteria. You know what I mean? Like, put shit in your title and description that people are going to search for. But I'm not going to base all my episodes off of what people are searching for on YouTube, because this podcast is just me talking about whatever I want, you know? I'm not going to fake it. And so, I mean, there's like videos, like what was the one called where I was talking about like Addison Rae or something like that? I don't know, but there was one where I talked about Addison Rae and I put her name in the title because that's what it was about. And that video did pretty well compared to other ones. And I think that's because a lot of people are searching up Addison Rae. They're just searching up TikTokers. And then somehow they decide to listen to my 30-minute podcast. But I also think that maybe the algorithm doesn't work that well for podcasts just in general, because as I've said before, I think people generally listen to podcasts on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, like not really YouTube. So that could have a hand in the videos. But I don't know. But there's also some videos that just like take off as well, like what was it called? The one with my friend Luke. That one did a little bit better, not even just on YouTube, but just also in like the podcast and Spotify area. Like it got way more listens than like normal. And I don't know why. I mean, is it just because I had a guest on? You know, because it's not like Luke is a well-known dude, so it's not like, oh my God, he had Luke Gouldy on. But I don't know. Maybe that is. Maybe Luke is secretly famous, and I just don't know. I don't know. I want to know. I want to know what really gets the algorithm going. What gets the algorithm to be like, yeah, this video is a banger. We're popping this shit off. You know? But also what happened recently is I finally found a better way to describe my podcast to people. Because usually when people ask me like, oh, what's your podcast about? Which also maybe this helps with getting more listens for the podcast, is accurately explaining what the podcast is to people. Because usually when people ask me, what's your podcast about? I'm just like, I'm like, you know, it's just about nothing. It's just nothing. Just whatever I want to talk about. And they're just like, oh, okay. What does that mean? And I'm just like, dude, it's just whatever I want to talk about, whatever comes to my mind, I talk about. And they're like, well, what? What do you usually talk about? I could talk about anything, dog. I could talk about anything. And so like maybe that's a bad way to describe it, because then people are like, well, I don't know what it's about, so whatever, I'm just going to ignore it. So also this creator, the same one I was talking about earlier with decorating her house or whatever, she used to have a podcast. And her podcast was scripted. And she kind of dipped for a while, and she kind of came back recently, but she dipped for a while. And so obviously when she dipped from YouTube, she dipped from doing her podcast. And so when she came back recently, she was talking about the podcast and maybe bringing it back. And she said, if I bring it back, I don't want it to be scripted. I want it to be like more casual, like her and the audience are having a discussion, a conversation. And I'm like, dude, that's my podcast. That's like the perfect way to describe my podcast. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to steal that description and I'm just going to use that to describe my podcast whenever someone asks, what's it about? I'll just be like, hey, it's about me having a conversation with you. Which now that I think about it, that's still kind of vague. Because then they'll be like, okay, well, what are we having a conversation about? We can literally conversate about anything. Is conversate even a word? I don't know. But yeah, like we can talk about anything, dude. And I'll be like, then you just described my podcast, dude. We talk about anything. And then now we're back to square one. It's my podcast is about anything. So I don't know. Maybe that's not thinking about it. Maybe that's not a good way to describe it, but fuck it, dude. I'm gonna use that because it sounds a lot better than just saying it's about nothing. But I don't know. Also, maybe I was also kind of hoping that people would kind of get it because I don't know. I don't know if people really watch Seinfeld. Seinfeld has become kind of like a meme, and I don't know if people just use it as a meme or if they've actually watched the show. But the whole idea is that show is about nothing. You know? Which it is. It's pretty much about nothing. It's just four people doing whatever. And so, I don't know. Maybe I thought that would tickle people's fantasies if I said, like, it's about nothing. And they're like, oh, that sounds interesting. I want to know what nothing is. But I guess that didn't really work because people are just really confused. They're like, oh, okay. Don't know what that means. But I don't know. How do I describe it, dude? It's literally just me talking about anything. There's no other way to describe it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take that description. Yeah, it's me and you having a conversation. But I don't know. Maybe people are just more into scripted podcasts than just unscripted, because a big thing that people really like is like crime podcasts, and those are scripted because it's about crime. You gotta write. Well, you gotta read what the crime was. I don't know. Maybe their commentary about the crime maybe is unscripted, but it's half scripted. Okay, a little bit is scripted because you gotta read the story of the crime, of the case. But yeah, a lot of people really like that stuff for whatever reason. I don't really get it. I don't get the appeal of crime podcasts because it's like why do you want to hear about some murder that happened in the ice cream shop in Nebraska? Why do you want to hear about that? Why do you want to hear about a psycho, a literal psycho? Why do you want to know what's going on in his head? I don't want to know what's going on in his head. I'm going to tell you right now. The minute you start to understand what's going on in a psycho's head, that's a red flag, okay? That's a big ass red flag, okay? If you want to understand what a criminal is thinking and then you begin to understand, that's a bad sign, okay? I'm just going to say that right now. But for whatever reason, understanding a villain and their motives and all that stuff has become like a big thing with people recently. And like I hate to bring up like Marvel and all that stuff, but really the biggest example of that is Thanos with Infinity War. After that movie came out, everyone's like, you know what? I'm beginning to understand Thanos, And I'm like, excuse me? Like, yeah, he just wants everyone to prosper. So he wants to, he wants to make resources more abundant. So, he's kind of right. We are kind of overpopulated. And I'm like, no. You're kind of going nuts right now. They're like, no, I kind of understand where Thanos is coming from. And I'm like, yeah, and you're a psycho, okay? You're a literal psychopath if you understand where Thanos is coming from. Like, I don't know. Like, on the surface level, math checks out, right? You know, hey, if you have 100 loaves of bread and you have 100 people and you want two, you know, if you kill off half the people, everyone gets two. So now you're a little bit more fed. But it's also like, yeah, but then you just killed 50 people in order to get another loaf of bread. You know what I mean? Like, also, dude, what if one of those half people was your friend? Would you still be like, yeah, I understand where Thanos is coming from? I know we're besties, but hey, I want an extra loaf of bread, so you got to go, buddy. It's been nice having you. Great memories, you know, dap them up. What's going on? Thanks, bud. Thanks for the loaf of bread. No. You're psycho. But yeah, people are just really into that now. Like they want to listen to crimes. They want to understand what's going on in a criminal's head, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get people who like to watch that stuff. Like I like crime movies, but I like crime movies where it focuses on the investigation. You know, I like hearing about the investigators finding the clues where they're like, oh, you know, this criminal was a doofus. He left his fingerprint on the doorknob. What an idiot. Huh, so easy. You know, take the fingerprint off and you got to like, you know, run the test. The typical show me the security footage, you know. Like when the investigator comes into like a gas station or something like that, and they're like, hey, you know, I heard like a criminal was here, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then they notice that they have security cameras and they're like, hey, do you keep the tapes of those things? And they're like, oh yeah. And then they go to the back and they watch the video. Happens every time. Then the typical zoom in and enhance where you turn like a video that's in like 240p and they somehow bump it up to 4K. It's like, that's not possible. Unless that camera is recording in 4K, there's no way you can take a 240 video and make it 4K. Maybe you can. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just making shit up right now to serve my point. But yeah, like they always do that shit. They're like zoom in and enhance. Like I was just watching Endgame recently, and there's like that part where they're like looking into like Nebula's memories or something like that. And Thanos is like, hey, zoom in on that reflection in the window and enhance it. And I'm like, dog, you didn't see that. I'm just going to be straight up, okay? Because first of all, it's a hologram where there's only one color. Everyone's blue. Everything's blue, okay? There's no way you saw it was a window, and there's no way you assumed that it was a reflection and assumed it was a reflection of Nebula. And you're like, zoom in on that and then enhance it. No way, bud. No way, okay? I know it had to happen for the story, but come on. You could have made it like a little bit more obvious. Like what if, like you could have just had like a shot where Nebula was like looking at a mirror, putting on the orange plates, and they're like, holy shit, that's Nebula. But no, you're just like, this tiny little thing, I'm going to assume that's a reflection of Nebula, so zoom in on that and enhance it, and you're right, you know? No way. But anyways, yeah, people are just like really into that crime shit. They're really into understanding villains. And I'm like, what happened to just someone being evil? You know? Why not just have that blanket statement? Right? Like I don't need to know their motives, okay? I don't need to understand where they're coming from. How about just make them bad? They're just bad. They're just evil people. How about that? What happened to those villains? You don't have to give them some like relatable backstory. You don't gotta make me feel bad for them. Like, you know, that one Marvel movie where like the dude was left on the roof, you know, because Tony was like, hey, I'll meet you on the roof and we'll talk about, your tech or something like that, and then you left him on the roof, and the dude was like a total nerd, and it's like, oh my God, I feel so bad for him. It's like, no, he's evil. Just leave it at that. Why can't you just say that he was a competitor of Tony's, and he's like, I mean, I guess that's kind of in Iron Man 2 with Justin Hammer, but I don't know. Just make him evil. I don't need to relate to this nerd and feel bad for him and be like, oh man, he was left on the roof. He just wanted to talk to Tony. It's like, no, he's a psycho. He's evil. That's it. Okay? I don't need to understand where they're coming from. It's okay if, like, in a few movies, right, you have, like, that villain that you can relate to and all that stuff. Okay, I get it, right? It kind of, like changes your view on the movie. It's kind of like a spin on the typical story. But now it's like every villain has to be somehow relatable. They have to have some sort of motive where you're like, dude, I can understand where they're coming from. No. I'm not doing it. I'm kind of tired of that stuff. Just evil people. That's it. I don't need to understand them. Just make them bad. Okay? I don't want to understand them. Because the minute I understand them, that's a bad sign. Why am I understanding what's going on in a psycho's head? Why am I relating to a psycho? That's not something that should happen, okay? But people are into that. They're like, dude, I want to know what's going on in their head. Like, I got a friend who's like, who's literally studying how to understand what goes on in a criminal's head, which I guess some people got to do that as like a job so they can better catch the bad guys. But there's like some average people who are just like everyday Joes. And they're like, I want to know what's going on in a criminal's head. That's weird. Why? But it's a really popular thing. And it's so popular that, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, they're always recommending those types of podcasts to me. They're like, oh, based off your listening, here's a podcast you'll like to listen to. And I'm like, well, clearly you're wrong, because I've never listened to a criminal podcast ever. Never even looked one up. Okay. Like, the only podcasts that I listen to are like unscripted comedy podcasts. I don't listen to crime podcasts. So why would you recommend that to me? And it's purely because it's just popular. And so there's like, yeah, everyone's going to like this. No, not everyone. I don't want to know. I don't want to understand them. But not to spoil Stranger Things, but I did hear in Stranger Things 4, apparently the villain, the number one bad guy, is somehow relatable. I don't know if that's true or not, because I haven't seen it yet. But I'm just like, God damn, I don't need to relate to some evil interdimensional being. Okay, I don't need to understand. Okay, I don't need to relate to a literal monster. Why do you think I need that? But I don't know. Maybe they're like, hey, we gotta switch it up, because I guess in all the other seasons they've just been straight up evil. Just like monsters who just want to kill and eat people. So I guess maybe they want to switch it up. But it's just, at this point, there's so many stories that do that type of shit that it's just like, I'm so tired of it, period. All of it. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear another story that has a relatable villain for like the next 10 years. That's how over it I am of these like types of things. But anyways, my PC is dying, and so I'm done with stuff I want to talk about. So we're gonna end the episode here. Plus, I'm already late. So whatever you guys are listening to this on, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and leave a review. All that really helps me out a lot. Share this podcast with people who enjoy podcasts. Share this with people who listen to crime podcasts to help them out. Maybe be like, hey, stop idolizing literal psychopaths. Okay, I got you. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my main channel and subscribe. It's going to be Jay Lyons. I'm going to link it in the description, so you can click that link and take you right there and subscribe. And follow me on social media at RealJLyons and at Lion on Main on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And yeah, hopefully I can finish this episode before my PC dies. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Love you. I don't know. Do I?